Hey, what's up, comrades? So now that I finished the Shining series, the next long-form series that I'm going to cover, which is like 8 games or something, 9 games, is Police Quest, which turns into SWAT. And then, because that, I don't know, No Man Home or No Way Home, what the fuck was that called? Anyway, Ready or Not, that's what it's called. The Ready or Not controversy with like the censorship and whatnot, which is like a hot topic these days, obviously, which is why, again, I fully support torrenting everything and storing them on your own server. And that way you have access to things without having to fucking dox yourself like an idiot. Anyway, where was I? Oh, Police Quest. Yeah. So Police Quest 1 is an old Sierra game from like the early 80s, I think. And then it was remastered, which I'm playing the remastered version of the first one. And so the first 4 games are kind of point-and-click adventures. And then when they turn into like the SWAT games, they become more of like, I was trying to remember. We'll see when we get there. But I think they're first-person kind of shooters, if I remember correctly. And again, they go real hard into like acting like a police officer, which is so fun and so good. I wanted to be a police officer sometime. Well, I didn't want to be a police officer. I wanted to be a detective for the state of Louisiana. But I ended up joining the military instead, so fun for me. What a life difference. And then after I joined the military, because the state was taking forever to get back to me, they told me it was time to start, and I was hired. And I was like, well, it's like 6 months too late, motherfuckers. Like, good luck. Anyway, so Police Quest takes place in Lighton, California, which is a small town. It's got small town charm. We get like a history of the last like 60 years or something. It starts off as like this cute little town in like somewhere in the middle of California, not like Los Angeles area, just like some other place. It's got like a lot of high moral value. People are, it's a very desirable place to live, very quiet, very quaint. Everyone knows each other's names. But as time goes by, some undesirable elements start encroaching, like the drug trade and all that stuff. And by 1985, it was having just as many problems as a big city, despite it being a little city. And then the present, which I think the game takes place in the 88 or 90. And so we play as an officer, Sonny Bond. I've written down here later, we'll get to it, but I think that's his name. And so we start off and he drives into the police station. It's all very like cinematic and fun in like that old school kind of Sierra way. Once we get to the station, we pick up a radio, pick up keys, and a lot of what we do is just like normal police stuff. Some of this stuff is like essential to solve like the puzzles, but some of this stuff is just like, what would a police officer do in these situations? Which is fun, and you get more points for that. And what do the points do? Whatever, it's like a game, so you want to get like points, and it adds to like the replay. Like, so let's say you get to the end of the game, and I think the total possible points is like 175 or something. If you have like 275. If you have like 200 points, you're like, well, I clearly made choices that weren't like optimal, or I missed some stuff, so I can go back and try to figure that out. And with these old games, I'm playing this in DOSBox, but you can play it in ScumVM as well with a lot of these older games. And I've never used ScumVM, so I'm actually playing, this is like the GOG version, I'm pretty sure. So it's like the DOSBox is built in and it runs very well in like a modern setup because of that, which is great. Okay, so a lot of the stuff we do is like asinine, but some of the stuff is required. So we pick up a radio, pick up some car keys, we hit the shower. When you hit the shower, you have to like take off your clothes, put on a towel, head to the shower, come back, put your clothes back on, and you get points for all that shit. And then we head to the briefing room, and we're the first ones there. And so we can like read about the recent crime wave in the city, and then we can grab a note about the meeting, about meeting up with another police officer at some diner later on. He left for us. And then, yeah, Sonny Bond. So we find out that her name is Sonny Bond at this point, and that we're reading this link in a newspaper, that we're the recipient of some award from the chief of police as like the #1 police officer for like the month or whatever. And that right now we work in traffic, and we're not a detective. We're just like a traffic officer. We just do traffic shit, like pull people over and write tickets and stuff, which is like, that's how police work starts. Like you start off, you just get some asinine job, and you work your way up to like a detective position or whatnot. Anyway, at that point, everyone starts coming in, and then Sergeant Dooley, who's the head of like the traffic department, tells us about this vehicle, a black Benz, that is involved with some stuff, and if we see, we need to make sure we pull it over. Also about how some teenagers are driving drunk, and they've been caught with cocaine and whatnot. And then we got our call number, which is important because a lot of this game is spent just like driving around, arresting people, or like giving tickets to people who are driving drunk or whatever, or speeding or whatnot. And so we got to listen for like the radio to call out to 8332, which is our call sign. Now, they don't really call it to anybody else, so it's not super important to remember, but it's fun that you get it. And then Sergeant Dooley gives us a hard time for like the recognition in the paper and that we shouldn't let it go to our head and whatnot. Before we head out, we find a notice about an opening for the narcotics department to be a detective, and we're like, YOLO it and just fill out the application. We head out, we just drive around, and this is a fun little mini game where sometimes you have to stop or you get hit by a car, and then you can find people to pull over. And there's like a pretty big city, like it's like 4 maps essentially. They're all connected. It's not like they load or anything. Like there's like, oh, I have to wait for this next map to load. It's just like, so because the screen is so small, like the resolution is like 480 by like 360, I think, or something like that. And so there's only so much stuff you can put on there before it becomes like impossible to see. So you move around the city. There's a lot of places you can go to. There's maybe like 10 or 12 places, but there's like 30 places to go. But I mean, 10 or 12 places that actually like mean anything in this game. I don't. They probably just reused the map for the second game. I've never played any of these, so this is all like new information for me. Let's see. Okay, yeah, because I literally, like, one point, there's a stop sign. I'm like, whatever, keep going, and then I get killed. And I'm like, oh. The game is nice enough in this version. I think this is the VGA version, where it just, like, reloads. And I'm like, oh, thank God. It's very forgiving in this regard. You still want to save a lot, because if it's not a car accident and you die, you have to go back to the last save, which happened once and was really annoying. Eventually, as we're just, like, driving around, we get called about an accident. And so we head over there. At the site of the car crash, let's see, the car crashed into a pole. Yeah, big pole, and a bunch of people are standing around. We find a kid who saw the whole thing. We talked to him about it. He tells us that there was a shooting, that the cars were shooting at each other, and then he gives us a partial plate description, and that it was a silver Mercedes-Benz. We then check out the body. It's dead. There's several bullet wounds there. We call it in, and Sergeant Dooley rolls up. So then back to the streets. About this time, it's time to meet up with our buddy Steve-O over at this place called Caffeine Carol's. And he's the guy from the note earlier. We go in there, we talk about a murder that took place recently, and then the homies banter about vomiting and seeing a dead body, and how, like, the first time they saw a dead body, how it made him sick and just, like, was awful, and this time seeing a dead body was still kind of, like, awful, and that this thing was definitely a murder, because it was, like, not a hit and run, but, like, a shootout or whatnot. But then, they got used to it over some time, and it's, like, a little less stressful than before. Sonny gets sassed by Steve for being weak-ass. When they were in the academy. And then they talk about woman problems. And then mid-conversation, we get a call. It's Hamilton. He gives us information about the dead guy in the car. He was a low-level drug dealer named Lonnie West. He tells us to contact him if we get any other information. Before we leave, Steve reminds us about a party at the Blue Room later in the evening. So back on patrol. And as we're on patrol, this lady in a red Corvette races past us. So we pull her over. And this is one of those situations where you can kind of play it as you want. But if you play it, like, correctly, then you get, like, the most amount of points or whatnot by acting like a police officer, not being seduced by this, like, supposedly attractive blonde woman. Anyway, so we pull over. She acts all sweet with us, so that we, until we give her a ticket, and then she, like, fucking loses it. She literally calls us a Nazi pig. Awesome. Oh, it's great. Anyway, we head back out, and we get a call about a disturbance at Caffeine Carol. So we head back over there. She's super concerned because some bikers parked in front of her place, and they're shady as fuck. And there's, like, this speakeasy or whatever in the back, like a bar like that bikers go to. So it's very conveniently located for us to just kind of meander back there. And she wants us to know if we can go do anything about it because we're a police officer and whatnot. So we head back to this place called Wino Willie's. Fuck these names. We talked to the biker gang leader. He's a total asshole because, of course, he is and whatnot. And so the first time I did this, it was like I wasn't quick enough on the draw, and so he killed me. And then so when I reloaded, I played through all the conversation again. This time I pulled out my nightstick real fast and beat his ass. And you beat his asshole up. And then, let's see, otherwise he kills you. Oh, and then they all apologize. Like, the bikers are like, okay, we'll leave. Police brutality. Like, shut the fuck up and get out of here. And so they do. And it's awesome. And then we go talk to Marie, who's, like, our sweetie from, like, high school. She's now a prostitute. So life's been pretty good to her. Anyway, there's some inclination in this game throughout that you and her had some sort of, you were at least friends in, like, high school, but that there also might have been some romantic interest there. But as I said right now, she's just like a prostitute. So, but you guys are still, friends, even though you're a police officer and she's, a criminal by the law of the land. But, fuck the law of the land, right? Anyway, so we talked to her a little bit. She gives us some information about, like, what's going on in the area. She talks about this person called the Death Angel, and he's the one who's kind of, like, in charge of all the new drug trade in town and stuff. He's a new drug kingpin. And she mentions how they partied, and that he's, like, slowly taken over all the other drug trade in the town and kind of been ruling over everybody. She mentions the name Kaufman, and also that the guy has a red rose tattoo on his chest. And then we chat a little bit more about high school and whatnot. And then because she's our friend, we're like, hey, the next day or two, do not go out and be a prostitute, because the vice division at the police department is doing like a sting operation, and if you do that, you're gonna get caught up and everyone's gonna be arrested and whatnot. So she thanks us for the information, and then he's about to say something else, and then she's like, oh, sorry, I got to get back to work. I'll see you later. And we're like, all right, bye. Heading out this time, we find a little white car meandering about a little erratically, so we pull him over because he's drunk. This dude is plastered. So we give him a fill sobriety test. He absolutely fails it. We cuff him and take him to jail. We go to have a little fun conversation with the jailer. Oh, as a note, when you go to the jail, you're supposed to leave your gun outside the prison. So you get points for that. That's fun. And then, after we book this guy, and also you get a little quest where you have to like book them on certain charges or whatever, and you can find those in like the manual. So with GOG, obviously you have the manual, access to the manual, which is always the correct way to handle things. But we get summoned back to the police station. Dooley is being pestered by the gremlin of the station people keep talking about. This never really gets resolved as far as I could tell. Like there's somebody pulling pranks around the station, and they pull it gets spoken of. I didn't bring it up before because it was like irrelevant when it first came up. So it's brought up, and then we go in there, and there's like a chicken running around in his office, like clucking around. And and then he swears he's going to get the gremlin of the office, and he's super pissed. And that's the last time we ever hear about that. Anyway, he's flipping out. He yells at us, kicks us out, even though he summoned us to talk to him. And we're like, all right, whatever. So we head back. We go we change out of our like work clothes into our like day, just like normal clothes, and we head over to the Blue Room for this birthday party thing. And we get there early, and we find Jack, who's the guy who's celebrating his birthday, and he's looking pretty sad. And so we sit down and start chatting with him, and then we find out that his daughter's on drugs. Oh shit, that's terrible. He has a little breakdown, and we comfort him. And then Keith comes by as well. He's another coworker. And comforts him as well. And then the party gets started, and we all hang out, and like he's feeling a little bit better and whatnot. And then at some point, Keith is like, "Hey, brother, what are you doing? You need to get going." And we're like, "What do we need to get going for?" And he's like, "Remember, like a couple weeks ago, you switched shifts with me, so now you got evening shift as well as the day shift." Like, fuck. And so it's like, damn. Anyway, so we got to head back to the police station. We got to get showered up again. We got to grab the stuff we left behind, like the radio and stuff we didn't need. And then we head to the briefing. This time we got, there's a missing Mercedes-Benz. There's an update on that. And part of it is a missing persons report, and it's Jose Martinez. This guy has an arrest record which involves narcotics, and it probably is related to the murder of Lonnie West, but I guess we'll find out more later. So we head out, and while we're kind of meandering about town, we get a call for domestic violence. And so we head over into like the neighborhood where the domestic violence call is coming in, and that's when we find the silver Mercedes. It's like, oh shit. So we ignore the domestic violence because fuck that. We pull over that silver Mercedes. We chase it down, and we got to call backup. And at this point, Jack shows up because I guess he's on evening shift as well, even though he was having his birthday party. So he gets our back. We kind of like walk up to the guy, or we get out, and we tell the guy to get the fuck out of the car. And then we have to keep threatening him as he tries to like come saunter up to us. Like, we're like, hey, motherfucker, you better get on the ground or we're going to shoot your ass. Because if you don't, he'll shoot you. Anyway, so once he's on the ground, we kick his gun away. We arrest him and take him to jail. And we're going to book him. And he's being a real obstinate little asshole the whole time. At that point, Jack shows up to the prison after he's all locked up and whatnot and tells us that he put all the stuff he found in the car, which we found a whole bunch of shit in the car, like drugs and fake IDs and a notebook, over into the evidence locker. And it also tells us that Sergeant Dooley wants to see us. So back to the police station we go. Once we're back at the police station, Dooley informs us that, hey, our application for the narcotics department got approved. So now we're going to be like an interim detective or whatever to help out them with all their narcotic stuff. Because remember, drugs is a big problem here in Lisette, California, I think. Anyway, we're super pumped up about it. So it's time to go shower, and then we change again. And then we meet up with Lieutenant Morgan, who is in charge of the narcotics department. He welcomes us aboard, tells us that he wants us to go meet Laura Watts because she's going to be our partner. So we go see her in like the narcotics area. She shows us around the room where the computer and the printer is. All this stuff's very important for like the one-time use of it. So that's good. And then she talks about how we're temporary here, but if we do a really good job, they'll most likely hire us, which is going to be awesome. That'll become a permanent job. She then tells us that Hoffman, who was the guy we arrested in the silver Mercedes, he's about to make bail. And so it's our job to make sure that doesn't happen. So she leaves, and then we look around. We get our key to the unmasked car. We check his file and find out he has a bunch of prior convictions for drugs and shit. And so then we have to rush over to the courthouse, meet with the judge. It's a pester clerk, so we'll let us see the judge. We go in there. We give him like the narcotics charges and like the FBI most wanted list charge and all that stuff to the judge, so that he can like make it so there is no bail. So, and then we have to rush over to the police station to give that to our homie, the guard there, so that Dude Meister can't get out. We get what is it called? Oh, we get a warrant for no bail. That's what it's called. Dun, dun, dun. And then it's like, hooray, all right, cool, we stopped that motherfucker. He's going to stay behind bars for good. So then we head back over to the police station, and Laura meets up with us again. And she talks about how there's like a drug deal over in like Burt Park that we have to stop. So now that we're partners, we hop in the vehicle together and we head off over there. Once we get there, she's like, I'm going to head over to like the backside of the park, and you go and like the deal is supposed to take place like by the lake or whatever. So we head in there and we hide behind the bushes. And then this guy named Kobe, he's trying to deal drugs to this teenager, Sims. And right as they make the sale, we run out, and we have to get Kobe to like runs for it. We focus. Oh no! So Kobe runs off, and we have to focus on Sims, and we have to get him to stop, because if he runs off, we lose. So we get him to stop by like threatening him, and then finally he gets down, and we arrest him. And then we drag him back over to our vehicle where Laura has caught Kobe. Awesome. Kobe doesn't want to fucking talk, but Sims talks. He talks a lot. He says he got hooked on coke. He was getting it from the Martinez guy who died until he disappeared. Then Kobe just like found him, and he found Jack's daughter. Oh no, this is a guy dealing to Jack's daughter. Fuck that guy. And so Kobe started dealing to those guys. And we like, oh good, Jack's gonna be so happy that his daughter's dealer is like off the streets, and now she can't get drugs anymore after his like whole sad story. So we take him to jail, and we book both of them. And then as we're about to head back to the station, Laura tells us that Jack called, seems really upset, and he's over in the blue room again. So we head over there, and once we arrive, Jack tells us that his daughter is in a coma. Oh no, from drug overdose. That's fucking drugs, man. Jack is like super drunk, and the bartender has called him a cab, so we convince him to take it instead of like trying to drive home or any bullshit like that. Once again, Keith rolls in. He tells us that Hoffman, or Telsey, he has like multiple names, has escaped from jail. He beat up a guard, and then he hopped over some fence, and that the whole city, there's a full dragnet on the whole city. At this point, Morgan wants to see us immediately. So we make sure that Jack gets in the cab so he can head home, and we head over to the police station. Morgan wants us to look into the evidence from the Hoffman case one more time to see what we can dig up, see if we can figure out where he's at, what's he doing, what's his connection to other things and whatnot. So we head over there. We head downstairs from his office to the evidence room, and there we check out the gun serial number and his little black book, which talks about eliminating Martinez and Looney, as well as other like real sketchy stuff. So this is the guy who definitely killed those guys. So then we go back to the narcotics office, and we search for the serial number of the weapon inside like the FBI database on our computer, and this brings up the TELUS file, which we print and take over to Morgan's office. This reveals that our friend Mary. Oh, he then tells us that, hey, there's some prostitute got picked up in that prostitution sting that you warned everyone about, and she knows you, and she's asking about you. Oh, yep, our friend Mary, our love interest for the game. That dumb bitch. Anyway, Morgan wants us to go make a deal with her, because apparently she's tied into like this whole drug network, because she's a prostitute, and we'll get her out of jail and not charge her with anything if she'll help us like make the big bust and whatnot. And yeah. And the reason why he thinks this is going to work is because she definitely has something for our boy Sonny here. And then Sonny kind of defends himself. He's like, oh yeah, we've known each other a long time. We're like buddies. And he's like, oh yeah? She's really sweet on you, fella. So we head over to the jailhouse to talk to our prostitute girlfriend. The jailer hints that Sonny and Marie fucked at some point in the past. Sonny ignores this completely and talks to Marie. She apologizes for not listening to about the suite, but like, a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do to make some money. We then tell her about the sting operation at this hotel, because there's like some underground gambling thing, and somehow like all these drug guys and the Kingpin and the Angel of Death are all tied into that. According to Lieutenant Morgan. And so she's like, okay, yeah, I have a friend who works over there, so I'll help you with that. That sounds great. So she agrees. We tell her that a car will pick her up a little bit later, and we get her released. So at that point, we head back to the police station. We get a call about Cotton Cove, which is nearby. So instead of going to the police station, we head over there first. There's some cops there there, and there's like a car and like a dead body and whatnot. So we chat with them for a bit and then check out the buddy. We find the red rose over the right nipple. It's Talisi. Oh, so he ran away, but then he got killed and thrown into the river anyway. It doesn't matter. Fuck you, guy. So then, all right, time to have exit. So now we head over to the station to Morgan's office. There we have Laura and Marie as well. And then we plan that we're going to dress up. We're going to go in disguise to this place. We're going to act like a big hotshot, like gangster just got out of jail. Marie's going to introduce us to her friend because she works from this like hotel all the time anyway. We'll get a room. We'll like flirt with her, get hooked up with like this bartender lady. Then we'll go up there, pretend to fuck, and then I'll come back down and be involved with like the gambling situation, which will get us in with like the drug kingpin, and then we can make our bust. Because we're pretty sure that the Angel of Death or Death Angel or whatever, he's involved in this whole gambling thing. And then as we go, we gotta keep informing Morgan about what's going on and whatnot. So we gotta bleach our hair so that it's like blonde instead of dark, and we gotta wear this like zoot suit, this like white ridiculous zoot suit. And so cool. So we're gonna go set all that in motion. But right before she heads out, Maria is concerned about her bartender friend because she's friends with her. So even though she's kind of doing illicit stuff like Marie, she doesn't want her to get into too much trouble, and she wants us to go easy on her. So Morgan's like, yeah, we'll see what we can do. She should be fine. And then she leaves. Laura's like, I got paperwork to do, so adios. And then at that point, we inform Morgan about the dead body, about Talisi being dead over at the Cove and whatnot. So we head to the showers, we prepare the peroxide that's going to bleach our hair, and then get our suit on, and we go ahead to Morgan. We talk about the operation one more time and kind of cover it all. And then Sergeant Dooley comes in. He says that Kathy, who's Jack's daughter, the drug overdose lady, like the B story here in this game, that she's dead. Fuck. That's horrible. Drugs really cause a lot of problems. We talk about this, and we talk about how we need to stop these dealers, specifically the Death Angel, who's killing all these kids by dealing drugs to them. And then it's time to head over to Hotel Delphoria, where the gambling ring's taking place. So we go over to the hotel. It's kind of a long drive. It's like on the other side of the city. We get there, we get a room, we talk about Marie. Marie comes in. This guy thinks we're going to get a room, take her up there, and like bang the shit out of her, which, you know, maybe I am. We hit the bar next, order a drink. Marie pretends to know us as a gangster named Whitey. We chat for a bit, order another drink, you got a tip high and all this stuff. Then Marie tells us there's definitely some shady stuff going on here in the back. We flirt for a little bit, like for realsy flirt, right? Because they actually like each other. Then Alex, who's the bartender friend, comes back. Marie introduces us, and then we chat with her for a bit. We convince her that we're next con with a lot of money, as I said before, and we talk to Marie about coming out to Vegas for the weekend and partying and all that stuff. And then we're about to leave to like quote unquote bang upstairs when Alex tells us to come back down after we get lucky. Wink, wink, wink. And we're like, sure, we will. And because she's going to hook us up with this poker game, which is excellent because they always need more people or whatnot. So then Marie and Sunny hit up the hotel room. She gets like real flirty, and it's like really obvious that she wants to fuck. But then we're like, no, we can't fuck right now. We're in the middle of an operation. So I'm going to like call somebody, because he says a straight fucking arrow. We're gonna get somebody to come pick you up and make sure you're safe. And or no, we call a cab. We don't pick her up. Yeah, we call a cab. She leaves. We'll tell her. We'll call her later. We call Morgan on the hotel phone, fill him in on the whole thing, and then we head down to tell Alex that we're in and we're gonna go ahead and do the gambling thing with the money. She takes us to the back. She frisks us, then knocks to get us into this room. We chat with the guys at the table to play poker, or should I say, what do they call it? They call it 5 cards Hold'em. So I guess they can't call it Texas Hold'em for some reason. So we play this for a while, and pretty much you just have to, you can like cheat and lose less points, and just like the game is like, hey, do you want to play cards and lose, or do you want to play cards and win, or do you want to actually win for yourself? If you choose one of the other two options, you don't get the points. And I was like, I could probably do this, and it goes on for quite a while. It's actually pretty decent little game here. But yeah, eventually I win the natural way, and then they're like, hey, you should come back later. We got a high roller table. It's going to be even more money. We're like, sounds good. So we call Morgan, tell him that we're winning, tell him we need more money. He then sends backup. They give us like a pen that transmits to the other detectives that are going to be hanging out in the hotel, and also a whole bunch of money so we can play on this high roller table. After that, we head back to the bar. Let's see. Oh, yeah, we talked to Alex. She then takes us back again. Or no, this time we're like, hey, Frank told us to come back. And she's like, oh, you're going to the big boys table. Fantastic. So she takes us back. And then she forgets to frisk us, so we remind her. It's just like a cute little scene. We then play. I got the shit kicked out of me that first round. Like, I lost so hard. So then I went into the second round and just like YOLO'd it, and I got through pretty fast. At that point, one of the guys is like, "Hey, I like you. You got like a good upstart, and like I could use more people like you in my business. So let's go upstairs to the penthouse and talk some more." And so like, cool, sounds good. So his name is Magpie. And when we get to the top, he reveals that dun dun dun, he's the Death Angel, and that he definitely wants to invite us to his organization. Luckily for us, he gets a call and heads off to a different room, even though there's a phone in this room. And while he's gone, we check the room number and call in backup through the pen. Once they arrive, they're all like hiding out behind furniture and stuff. It's like a super cute scene. It's so funny. And then the Death Angel shows up, and he tells us the call was a warning that someone at the poker game recognized us as a copper. And the reason they did is because we were like in the newspaper, the local newspaper, for being like the best cop of the month or whatever. And it's like, wow, this game is so fucking well written. Like, something that like came up at the very beginning of the game was kind of like a joke, got pulled up at the very end to like move the story forward. Excuse me. So that's pretty awesome. Not gonna lie. Let's see. Someone. Oh, he tells us he's gonna kill us, and before he pulls his gun out, we shoot the shit out of him, or we don't shoot. The backup shoots him dead. And Sonny's like shocked because there was like, and this goes back again to that whole conversation he had with, was it Keith? It was somebody at the very beginning of the game where they're hanging out the caffeine, Connie Caffeine or Carla Caffeine, whatever. The little dive bar, not dive bar, the dive like the Waffle House thing. What is it called? A diner, the diner, and how it was. They were talking about seeing death and being spooked by it or not. So Sonny's all shocked and whatnot, and he's like, "Wow, I've never seen someone shot before. I've just seen some dead bodies, and like this is like a whole nother issue." So he walks up to the body and he realizes that he's still alive, and he's like, "I gotta call an ambulance." So we do, and that pretty much ends the game because then we get the epilogue. And so later on, the mayor is holding a press conference. He's talking about the rest of Death Angel, about how they are promoting us to a detective, like in the narcotics division, like officially, that we're like we earned from like our temporary to permanent position. And then we get like the combination of valor from the city, and it's like, dude, where Sonny's like super pumped up, and he's super pumped up. He's like he's thinking all this while he's like getting his award and everything, and he's like, yeah, I get this award, I get to be a detective, like things are looking so good. I stopped the drug dealers, and like I feel bad for Kathy and more so Jack because his daughter died, but then I got a little date. See, it's gonna be even better tonight because I'm gonna go on a date with my girlfriend Marie. Oh, the prostitute, nice. And it's like, boom, baby, I crushed it, and that's it. That's Police Quest 1 because the credits roll, and that game was fucking awesome. I love adventure games. These old fucking Sierra adventure games. They're so good. They're so well written. They're so fun. They're cutesy little puzzles and whatnot. I used a guide for this whole thing. Let's not pretend. I like figured all this shit out. I don't even try at this juncture. Like back in the day when there was like no choice but to just like do what you could to kind of figure it out. But these days it's like, nah, I'm good. I just want like the story and the cute little stuff, and like Sierra crushes it out so hard. They're so good. Especially because some of the puzzles are total bullshit, like nonsense. This game, I actually feel like if I had just like struggled hard enough, I probably could have gotten through the game. It'd probably been like quite a few like deaths and whatnot. But like I like just playing with the guide. So there you go. But yeah, go ahead, like, share, subscribe, comment, and we'll get to Police Quest 2 in 2 weeks. We're gonna do the same thing we did with the Shining games, just try to hit them up every couple of weeks and just intersperse other things in between. So it keeps it fresh for me. So yeah, go ahead, talk to you guys later.